Who was the most brutal dictator in history? Throughout the world history, a number of dictators have committed unspeakable acts against their own people. Here is the list of top 7 brutal dictators in history. Number 7. Ivan the Terrible. Kill count 60,000. Ivan the Fourth, commonly known as Ivan the Terrible, was the first leader of Moscow to declare himself Tsar of all Russia. He was a ruthless individual who routinely butchered and slaughtered its subjects. Because of his extreme paranoia and ferocious temper, he would often kill his subordinates during unprovoked fits of rage. He even killed one of his sons during the episodes. Ivan enjoyed torturing individuals, especially when it involved nobles and church officials. Often, he would have his guards boil them in hot water. Number 6. Idi Amin. Kill count 3 lakhs. Idi Amin was a military officer who served as the third president of Uganda by launching a coup to remove the then president Milton Obote from power. During his reign in power, Idi Amin eliminated political officials and ethnic minorities via execution, torture, and whatnot. He is notoriously famous for his practice of cannibalism. Saddam Hussein. Kill count 1 million. Saddam Hussein was a dictator who served as the fifth president of Iraq between 1979 and 2003. Although he initially served as the vice president under General Ahmad Hassan al Bakr, he quickly rose to power. After forcing al Bakr to resign, he seized control of Iraq, plunging the country into bitter conflict. Although he was involved in multiple terror campaigns during his reign, he was particularly cruel towards Shia and Kurdish people who resided in northern Iraq. On multiple occasions, he instituted purges to limit their power and strength. Arbitrary arrests, torture, and sporadic executions were also rampant during his reign. One of his most heinous crimes involved the deployment of chemical weapons against Kurds in northeastern Iraq. Leopold II. Kill count 10 million. Leopold II was the second king of Belgians and served from 1865 to 1909. He ascended throne at the age of 30 and ruled over his kingdom for 44 years, making him the longest reigning monarch in Belgian history. After taking control of the country in 1865, Leopold sought to keep pace with other European nations by establishing the Congo Free State in Africa. In the years that followed, Belgian officials committed unspeakable acts against the Congolese people. Leopold II was a vicious ruler who committed terrible crimes in Africa. To maintain strict discipline among the locals, Leopold authorized his administrators and army officials to use extreme violence for slightest infraction. Leopold even permitted army officials to burn villages and kidnap children who were then used in labor camps. Scholars estimate that approximately 50% of them died in captivity. Adolf Hitler. Kill count 20 million. Adolf Hitler was an Austrian born dictator who ruled Nazi Germany between 1933 and 1945. After coming to power in 1920s, Hitler used Germany's defeat in World War I to galvanize the population into a hated and vengeful frenzy. After declaring himself Führer in 1934, Hitler immediately implemented a rearmament program and an aggressive foreign policy plan. Adolf Hitler was one of the most evil dictators in human history. His worst crime involved the deportation and execution of non-Aryan people in Europe. This consisted primarily of Jews and non-German people. During his reign, Hitler worked tirelessly to get rid Europe of those he deemed undesirable. During the Holocaust and his invasion of Eastern Europe, scholars estimate that he was responsible for over 20 million deaths. Most of these occurred from mass shootings, gas chambers, labor camps, death marches, and starvation.